Hey, welcome. Why don't you say hi to everybody?
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Who are you?
I'm Jasa from Hive. Yay.
These are Hive watchers, so they probably know that
Okay,
you are from
alrighty.
around the blockchain. But so
Okay.
you're here. How many Hive Fests have you been to?
This is my third one.
Third?
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
good. Racking them up.
Been
How you
to-
feeling about it?
I guess, if you count the virtual ones, that would be up there. But
yeah. But like physical ones, three is
Right.
pretty good.
Physically, yeah. I've been to Lisbon and to Amsterdam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so a spread.
Yeah.
All right. So you're a long time Hiver. How you finding the presentations?
Huh?
How are you finding
They're
the
pretty
presentations?
good. They're pretty good. I've been like you said, being in Hive for a while, and it's great to see how the technology has started to, connect between each other. I was talking with Taskmaster on the Hive space.
Yes.
And we were talking about it. I was telling him that I've been in open source for a while, and we usually see this thing where developers start scratching their own itch and they go separate ways.
Yes.
But then eventually all start to connect again. And we have like a bigger, better platform, more like flexible and things. So it's great to see that development going on. It's also great to see these events where you talk to people that you know for years, but you only know their handle.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you say, oh my God, you're Jasa. Oh my God, you're Crimson Clad, and then you start like putting face with nicknames and with avatars. And
It is.
that's an
It's
awesome
definitely
experience,
it's definitely a weird feeling.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I got to thank you because if you guys have been watching the presentation streams twice, more than twice, but twice when I've been up there,
Yeah.
you've asked good, sharp, not critical, but not like pandering questions. And I appreciate that because obviously when you have a presentation, it's nice when someone lobs you a softball. That is appreciated. But I mean, part of the reason that we have these gatherings and we have presentations is like, hey, we're here, let's bang our heads together, let's talk about what's working, what we don't understand. So yeah, big props to you on that because not everybody's willing to do it, and that's okay. It's nice to have people encouraging you and giving you good easy questions that have good morale answers. But I like that you love Hive enough to kind of think a little more critically about it too.
Yes, I've been there for a while, and I'm always critical about things I really care.
Yeah.
I want to see them improve and succeed. Want them people to think about it. Where are we going? What is this going to mean eventually? And if we're going in the right direction, or we're just wasting our time on things. So I think it's important to have thoughtful questions that make people think about the future more than the now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, and that's a tough one in our space, I
Yeah.
think. We'll see what you think about it. But we're so caught up in being worried about getting everything we can at this second that we forget that this technology is basically the foundation for everything that comes next.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not Hive specifically, but yes, Hive specifically. But decentralized, open source.
Yes.
You were talking about being an
Yes.
open source. So yeah, how do you feel about that? Because obviously we've got about 50-50. We've got for-profit companies. We've got non-profit open source development. We've got somewhere in the middle. Do you think open source is a really important aspect of Hive?
It's very important, but also it's important to have like professional people as well. So I've been critical about both areas. Like, well, are we open source enough? Are we really telling people, here's the GitHub, this is how you hack it,
Yeah.
this is how you create a smart contract on Hive, which not many people know where it is, even
Yes.
if, regardless if they know to code or they don't know where to code, do you know where to go to get that information? And that is
Yes.
critical as well. And on the flip side, you also want to have business. You want to bring business, and you want to make it easy for business to embrace the technology. And this is not just Hive. You can say the same thing for blockchain
1000%.
and for open source. And also, it's like companies say, okay, I'm in it. Where can I find developers? Where can I find the experts to bring the code to my business and to integrate?
Yeah.
And I think that's important as well, to also keep in check of where the resources are, if there are, and if not, encourage the community to create them and produce them.
That's a big one. We're lucky that we have that on Hive. And so that's certainly, we had a previous project from the legacy blockchain that was kind of working towards open source code contributions. And so, that kind of collapsed alongside sort of some of the viability of the project. But here we are. We've got a whole platform that incentivizes knowledge sharing alongside information sharing. What would you really like to see if there was one type of knowledge that we could build a new community around, and we could just suck all of the information out of people's brains? What should we push? Like, what would be a community with knowledge that we want to share on Hive, just to archive it and have it and get people excited about it?
Oof, that's...
No pressure.
Yeah.
This is the chill zone. So if you want to be like, Krim, shut up, get out of here. I'm not answering that. You can do that.
Right.
But I mean, genuinely, like for me, I can think of a couple things, and it's not necessarily only tech, but I can think of a couple types of knowledge that I hope we don't lose that. I'd love, or I hear somebody talk, but I wish they'd write it all down in the chain, because then it would just be there. We could all look at it. You think there's anything like that you wish we could kind of get a group together about?
It depends who you ask, because like the people is very diverse. So I talk with the people from Cuba and Venezuela, because they're the most Spanish-speaking communities,
right?
To represent, and for them, Hive is something completely different than talking to Archange,
of course,
or talking to people in Europe or in the States, that they're building and they're trying to innovate, and so it's a very different scenarios. I really like the Hive. Somebody told this, it's like Hive is the only cryptocurrency you can get it without putting money first.
Yes.
Yeah. You can actually just create what you want, and you will get rewarded, and that rewarded is your gain. So that opens up to everybody around the world. You can get people from Ghana contributing, earning capital. So for them, that capital is also very important, because in their countries, sometimes the currency issue is not very straightforward.
Totally. Yeah. That's a great point. And I mean, and for everybody that's watching, we try to avoid being like, come here, make tons of money, because that's not the reality. But you're exactly right in that somebody who would be locked out of a financial first entry point, like, let's face it, for whatever reason, they're in either underdeveloped, or they're underemployed, unbanked, whatever it is, they would be locked out of a currency or a community that required you to buy into a coin. And the inherent idea that you produce value and you share value, allowing people to do that first and then build up a little bit of capital over time. We've seen incredible projects come out of places that didn't have money right off, but they had energy and they had human value.
So for a lot of people, it's a lifeline.
Yeah.
So that's more important than, well, maybe we shouldn't use Python for this project.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you have to get off your, train of thought or frame of mind, and remember that for some people, this is actually, life or death. This is actually, it's like, there's no jobs here. There's no currency here. It's really hard to get bills, because everything is going digital. Like Nigeria tried to implement CBDCs, and Venezuela also.
Well, that went terribly in Nigeria.
In Argentina also, there's there's a recent interview on X, and this guy comes with $100 and they get tons of bricks of bills because it devalues so much.
Yeah.
So having HBD, for example, is a lifeline for most of these people. You can actually access a stable currency that is preserve the value, and it doesn't have to you don't need a huge bag of to hold it.
Yes.
And
it's actually global.
Yeah, and it's actually global, exactly. And you were talking with I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Oh, Sophia.
Sophia, right? And she was talking about e-commerce. I think that's a powerful tool in these countries where people can actually use HBD and get products and get services without having to go into their national currency. And I think that's great. That's awesome for these people. So I think that's also very important. And like you said, we don't like to talk about money as things, but I think we should, because for some countries, the money situation is very deteriorating. It's very distorted. It's kind of like a dystopian world.
Yeah.
And we don't think about it because we don't live on these places. So for them, it's really important.
Oh, for sure. And when I say that, you're right, because I don't mean it like, oh, we can't That's not the message. But it's kind of how we present it, because I think sometimes, and part of that is our privilege. For me especially, like, you know, I live in Canada. I'm very, as much, we have problems. Canada has problems, but we're very divorced from the idea of, like, I don't know where my next meal is coming from because the government has inflated my currency again, and my salary from yesterday can no longer pay my bills from today. You know, it's happening, but it's not happening on the scale of many of these countries.
Exactly.
And so their experiences are valuable. I mean, people kind of say, oh, well, we don't want to hear it, or no, we've got so many of them, we can't pay everybody, or whatever. But when you kind of look at it as, how do you talk to people in countries that don't have this problem, but are starting to see it happening? How do you talk to them in a way that's meaningful and help them understand? Well, here are people all around the world, multiple countries, who have gone through this exact thing, and here's how the tech's helping them. Pretty valid and meaningful experiences.
And also the fact that it's social.
Yeah.
There's also,
you treat them, they're humans.
Yeah, blockchain is very intimidating for the average guy on the street. Like, you're talking about cryptocurrencies, they're usually affiliated with some kind of scheme of, like, you know, Ponzi scheme and such. But actually having the social aspect, like, oh, I can create a blog, I know social media, I know Web 2.0, and if I can actually do the same thing that I'm used to on Web 3 and actually get rewarded, that's a big game changer for them, because they actually feel part of the group.
Yeah,
Well,
and they don't have to turn to some of these, like, sketchy ways that, you know, we say, you know, stereotypical ways of kind of trying to cheat the system because it's the only way to compete.
Right.
It's really cool to actually be encouraging. I love it. Look at you jumping in here. You're gonna be okay. So what are you going to present on next year?
Oh, that's a good question.
Next HiveFest, what are we going to hear you talk about?
The HiveFest. I thought, I mean, they invited me to give a talk, but I always feel like, you know, I just want to chill, kick back, and see what's going on, and then come behind the presenter and start asking questions, like really hard questions, like, so what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about that? You know? But I've been having my blast, especially with Brian and Yolanda. We've been going out for meals, and we have had, like, really good debates and such technical debates.
Yes.
And that's also pretty good. So I might work for the next HiveFest on some kind of topic. Yeah, I'll probably get my chips in order and get a presentation put together and such.
Heck yeah. There you go. Peer pressure has happened. So what's going on in chat? What are they thinking about us? Anything? Or are they also worried about lunch? I'm thinking about lunch. I'm not going to lie. Sophia's brand is Clean Girl. Mine's Hungry Girl.
Sunday. Yesterday was more like more people on the live stream today.
All right. You guys are watching the main stage. I hear you.
I think that is because of Sunday, probably.
Yep.
All right.
And they will watch later as well, right? So,
all right.
I mean,
so that means we can do whatever. We can do whatever we want right now.
Yeah, that's good.
But we're getting ready to kind of close things up. I mean, we were supposed to have these guys over here to say hi, but I think they're going to be stuck on. Yeah, they've been stuck on the stage forever.
I think we're going to eat soon as well.
That's right. Lunch is now being held back because of this presentation. Listen, everybody wants to know about decentralized hosting. That's what's happening over there. So that's a cool thing too.
I was there for a little while. I was very surprised how put together they've been doing, because they're incorporating more of these dApps on this, like, common platform.
A big one.
So that's going to be a game changer for new developers as well. They don't have to worry about where they're going to store the data and all that. It's actually more optimized than just talking directly to the blockchain.
Totally.
So that's going to make it easy for people. You
just got to find more dApps now that are ready to make the jump. Or I guess they're not dApps because they're not here yet, but we want to find more sort of existing services that, rather than rebuild, let's just get you connected in one or two ways, and you can kind of fall down the rabbit hole once you get there. Yeah, I like it.
Awesome.
So what do you think? Do you want to escape, or do you want to hang out with me for a bit? No pressure.
I can hang out for a little bit.
Because we're just making things up. We're just filling time.
Okay, let's fill time then.
So you're staying for a bit. Are you kind of local-ish?
Yeah, I'm from Cancun. I live there.
Yep.
Originally, I'm from somewhere else in Mexico.
Yep.
But I live in Cancun. It's very nice hub because you get, like, the international airport.
Yes.
So you can just hop in, take up a flight anywhere in the world. Straight up, so it's real nice and easy. And also it's Cancun, you know, you get the beach, you get the nice food, you get, you know, the heat.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The heat yesterday. I don't know everybody that was watching. If you watch the front stage, Block Trades and I. Everybody up there was already pretty pale, but Block Trades and I especially are quite fairly complected. And I'm looking at him and I'm watching him kind of shifting a little bit, and he's trying to cover his knees, and I'm kind of put my arm behind my back. This is where I wish maybe I had a little bit of an adaptation in being in the sun.
I forgot to tell Max to also serve some sunblocker.
Yeah,
with
that
the drinks
was.
and the cookies.
We didn't quite anticipate that she would be so hot, but it's been beautiful here. I think this has been really awesome because we're getting closer to almost our first U.S. HiveFest. I know some people are still like, get it done, kind of the U.S. But boy, I think this was the right choice.
Yeah.
I mean. For you, good travel time too.
Right. And I really hope the HiveFest go more global. Like go to these places, like go to South America, go to Africa, I didn't go to the one in Thailand, but I really want them to keep going to all these places. I remember there were very vibrant communities in Asia.
Yes, Thailand was great. A lot of Southeast Asian communities came, but we'd love to see more of that too.
I've been talking a lot with the guy from D-Boss. He's from the Philippines.
Yes.
And he tells me
Hive
stories.
is huge in the Philippines. And actually just even Web3 kind of decentralized technologies are really, people there get it. But they've been working really hard. So Chris Rice, Nathan Sen, they've really taken the country by storm. They're on TV shows, they're on radio shows, you'll find them in the newspaper. So that's a little bit more of like what we're saying. If you're willing to go out and kind of try and find places to share Hive, it's interesting how far it can go and how quickly. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It is, but like I told my friend from Havana, it's like asking for help is free.
It is, absolutely.
So, I mean, it doesn't cost you much. I understand you're busy. I understand you have a life and you're getting more involved. And it seems like you're overwhelmed. But a lot of people want to actually jump in and help because they want to be part of it,